today we're going to look at the new Gamepad feature. Here I have an existing profile that's already been set up, so you could drive it in the touchscreen mode. And now we want to bind the controls to a gamepad. First, we want to go to the gamepad mode by clicking on the upper right corner, the gamepad button. And now we see multiple windows and some are colored with the blue color. The blue ones represent the buttons that are analog buttons, which means they have an array of values and not just the normal on and off. And I like to put the acceleration to the R2 and L2 buttons, so let's start with that. Okay, so we want to select the acceleration control, and then we get a second menu that asks us if we want to go to the positive or negative direction. So I'm gonna go the positive, and with the L2, I wanna go to the negative. Okay, so let's go with the steering next. I like to use the right joystick. Here we only have the option for the left and right because we have a horizontal slider. And this model also has track steer, so we're gonna put that to the left joystick. Okay, so these are the analog controls. Now we want to bind some buttons. We have a gearbox here, so let's bind it here. Now we can see before on the analog we had only the sliders available because they have an array of values and the buttons are only ones and zero basically. So the buttons are only available on the non-analog buttons. Anyways, here we can select the gearbox, and we again want to select is to go to the positive direction up and the negative direction down. Also, let me say here that we can see that we also have the sliders on the buttons, and that means that if I would select a slider here and say positive, that means that it will just go to the maximum value to the positive or maximum value to the negative direction. So nothing in between. Okay, let's go as we wanted. So the gearbox, you have to switch up the gear on up, switch down the gear on down. We also have a fake engine. Let's bind it here. And we also have a speed control, which we want to bind over there. Okay, I think we have the profile set up, so let's go driving. Okay, I'll be using the PlayStation 5 controller. I connected it with the USB-C cable, and let's go drive. All right. We are ready to drive. Let's just try with the accelerations. Remember, we bound them at the R2 and L2 buttons. So let's go a bit backwards. All right, slowly because we're driving on a table, and forward. And now if I would press both buttons at the same pressure, it goes nowhere. And if I release one, it starts moving forward. Okay. Then we can check the fake engine. So this one is an on-off button. We bound it here on the left side with the up button. And we also have, we could do that while driving, but we have to drive very slowly. Then we have the gearbox up. And now we are in neutral. And let's go to the one more. Gearbox down. Okay. And we also have the speed control. We have here. Okay, we're getting wild for the table. But yeah, So with the speed control, we just press the button and it cycles through the speeds. So we can see that we don't see all of the controls here. We are just displaying the controls that switch states. So in the case of the fake engine button, is because you want to maybe see that the button is on or off, and similar with the speed control, in which speed mode you are, or the gearbox, in which gear you are. And as you can see, we're not showing the sliders because we maybe just want to have more real estate to maybe just show a gauge somewhere, because we're also showing gauges in this mode. All right, this is for our model. We can also check which controls we didn't cover in this model. So let's see if we have a normal on-off button, but we also added a hold button. So if this one was a button that you toggle, this one you have to keep press for it to have a one value, basically, to be on. So let's say to this, let's give it a name, engine 2. Okay, we're not gonna bind it anywhere, we're just gonna show it. And also one of the controls that we didn't use in this profile is the joystick control. Let's just put it somewhere over here, doesn't matter. And if we check how we would use it in the gamepad mode, is, so let's just bind the hold button over here, and the joystick, let's put it over here. And for the joystick, you can only bind it on the joystick button. So if you would want to go here, you see that you don't see any joystick to select, or even if you would go on the analog one, also no joystick to select, just on the joystick buttons. So maybe just let's check how the hold button works. So as you can see, I hold it and it's on, I release it, it's off. And this one is just a normal on-off. Okay, and that's it for the tutorial. If you have any more questions, please write to us or check the user guide that we have on the website. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video.